What is up, everyone? This is John from Running Warehouse, and today we have a special global review for a shoe that's sure to get global attention this year, and that is the New Balance Fuel Cell Rebel V4. The Rebel has been a shoe that's for up-tempo training, for your fastest efforts during your training cycle, and this is no exception. Part of what makes this shoe so fast and fun to run in is how lightweight it is. This shoe is coming in at 7.5 ounces at a men's US 9, which is incredibly lightweight. But not to worry, it does not compromise on protection and cushioning. In the heel, we've got 32 millimeters of stack with 26 millimeters in the forefoot for a 6 millimeter drop. And this is not just ordinary cushioning. We're talking an all-new fuel cell compound that features a PEBA blend, so you're gonna get an even lighter and more responsive ride. When you add these elements together, it really makes for an exciting ride, and that's how I felt on my faster efforts. I really enjoyed how lightweight this shoe feels on foot. It's really easy to pick up the pace. It wants to go fast, and I really enjoyed it when I was putting this through the paces. So it really excels at what it's designed for. I like to try and stretch up-tempo trainers out for my longer runs to see how they feel for longer efforts. I took this shoe on a 14-mile run, and I thought it held up pretty well. The protection was there. It probably wouldn't be my first choice, but it still felt good nonetheless. I would put this shoe right up there with a shoe like the Nova Blast 4 from Asics or the Hoka Mach 6. Both of those shoes do a really excellent job of picking up the pace and being an up-tempo shoe. I would say the Nova Blast 4 is a little bit more versatile because of that max stack, but in terms of a true speed day shoe, it's gonna be hard-pressed to find a better value than the Rebel V4 with all the fun and the technology that it brings. It's just a really exciting ride. And not only is it a great shoe to run in, but it just looks so good, and it's a shoe that I'm not just gonna run on the track or on the pavement, but it's one that I'll be wearing around town as well. Liz, what were your thoughts of the Rebel V4?
Thanks, John. Now, I'm definitely more of the casual runner in our group, but I enjoy racing and I always have something in the books. Right now, I'm in the middle of marathon training, and so I've been able to use the shoe for a wide variety of runs. And I have to say, I've been really enjoying the Rebel V4. It's soft, it's bouncy, but it also has enough protection for those longer miles. I've been able to take it into the double-digit runs with no problem, but then when I want to pick up the pace, it feels great, and I always find myself running a little bit faster than I realize in this shoe. With the extra foam, the shoe does see a widened base, which is something that I really appreciate. It gives that shoe a little bit more stability, especially with that soft foam. That said, this foam is very soft, so I think that will be a concern in terms of durability. This foam is compressed even a little bit in my 40 miles I put in it, so I don't think you're gonna get 400, 500 miles in this shoe. But for me, that compromise is absolutely worth how fun this shoe is to run in. For me, I also really enjoy that wider base in terms of the fact that it gives the shoe a bit more accommodating fit. I have wide feet, and so I actually had no problems with the fit of this shoe. Those with narrow feet might have some issues with the fit. Overall, I think it's a fast shoe that can handle daily training, long runs, and up-tempo workouts, and so if that's something that you're looking for in your rotation, I absolutely recommend the Rebel V4. Now let's get our thoughts from our friends in Australia. Nath, I'll pass this on to you.
Thanks, Liz. So next up, you've got me on this global review of the New Balance Rebel V4. Now, I used to be a 1500 meter 5K guy, but I run marathons a bit more for fun these days. So I put about 30 or 40K on the pair I've been wearing, and I did some slower, easier days in them and also used them for some faster, more up-tempo paced runs. Now, I found the Fuel Cell midsole with the PEBA-based blend really came to life on those faster tempo days. It was a funner shoe to run in at that 340 to kind of 410 per K. On the easier days, I didn't get that same pop and bounce that I did on those tempo days. So for me, I would use it as a faster up-tempo shoe, maybe sneak in a few marathon-based sessions in it. It probably can't quite handle a full-on track session, but as I say, that marathon session to tempo day, perfect for that. I'm gonna move on up to the upper. I found it to be nice and roomy. Now, it was maybe a little bit too roomy for me. I have quite a long, narrow foot, and I had to lock it down quite tight over that midfoot section. But for someone with a slightly wider foot, I think this upper is going to be really accommodating. Lastly from me, just the outsole. Now, the rubber outsole, you get pretty decent coverage, but there are exposed foam areas on there, and I'm already seeing a bit of wear on those foam areas. Other than that, I'm seeing pretty good durability on the outsole. So that's my thoughts on the New Balance Rebel V4. Over to you, Alicia.
Thanks, Nathan. So I'm a triathlete and I used to race a lot of the short course races. Now I'm going more towards half Ironmans where I'm running half marathons off the bike. I ran in the Rebel V4s over various types of sessions, so tempo workouts, threshold sessions, and a couple of easy runs. And I found they were, very great shoe to run in, very versatile. But personally, I'd probably keep it more to my shorter sessions as I found that my feet kind of got fatigued and a bit sore as I ran a bit further. I found the upper to lace up very nicely. My foot felt secure and locked in. It's also very breathable, I found, especially during the hot conditions that we have here in Australia at the moment. The cushioning felt pretty similar to some of the shoes I used to race in and train in, such as the Saucony Kinvara, although the Rebel V4 definitely felt like it had a bit more pop compared to the Kinvara. The New Balance Rebel V4 is a great shoe for someone who doesn't want something that's carbon plated for race day, or if you'd like something lightweight for your tempo sessions. And that's our thoughts on the New Balance Rebel V4. You can find this available on our websites at runningwarehouse.com and runningwarehouse.com.au.